Hello and welcome to For Book's Sake. I am Heather Roberts.
And I am Veronica Adams, and together we are like half of 1852 media.
True. True. And we are here to talk to you about covers today. What's in a cover? What is in a
Yes.
cover?
What
Why
is in a cover, Heather?
why are we not supposed to judge a book by its cover, but then we care so much about covers?
Okay, full disclosure, I judge books by covers all
I
the
do too.
time.
I do too. And everybody in this industry does. Like literally everybody.
That's why they're so important.
Yeah. And, if you take away the cover and you just put the blurb or a very short synopsis,
Mhm.
it is it is surprising how many people will click on something that they are now suddenly interested in that they weren't interested in when they saw the cover.
That's
So
right.
it just goes to show you how important that cover is because the
Yes.
retailers have the cover. So you can have the same language, but a cover that doesn't appeal to a specific
Mhm.
audience, and suddenly you're not marketable to that audience that otherwise would have purchased you.
Right. Right.
It's
And you do
wild.
remember too that there are a lot of people who shop for books in such a way that perhaps their attention spans are not super lengthy. So reading your full blurb or synopsis just may not be something they can do. So your book cover is really like the body language of your
Yeah.
book,
And just like with,
demonstrating what they
yeah,
can expect from it.
you have to think about like what vibes is the cover giving off?
Yes,
What
exactly.
is the right vibe? Because even when you're at the grocery store, right? For example, or I don't
Hmm.
know, maybe you're picking out a nice bottle of wine.
Yeah,
Sometimes you don't know those brands, right? Like unless
true.
you're a true wine connoisseur,
Right.
unless you are really into it. When I'm picking out a bottle of wine to take to a housewarming or something, I don't know any of the brands. I'm just looking what looks pretty, what
Yeah.
looks nice, like what is the vibe that I'm going
Hmm.
for. And I
Right.
know these
What's
people,
in my budget and what looks appealing to me from the label.
correct. And you
Yeah,
have to remember that's what a lot of people do when they look at books.
it's true.
And if they're looking for a specific vibe of a book too, I mean
Mhm.
trope and feel and author voice,
Yeah,
then they're going to be looking for certain markers on the cover
right.
that give them that acknowledgement that this is what I'm looking for.
Exactly.
Yes.
And also, I'm thinking back to what about a week and a half ago when the romance sector of the indie publishing community had a huge group promotion
Yes.
over I think over 2000 almost 2500 books included in one big free sale thing, okay?
Yeah.
And I think about how for some readers that promotion would have been so much easier to sort through had book covers been readily available in the list of books, right? But
Sure.
also,
But also,
if you take the book covers out of the equation, you have to actually concentrate on that back cover copy and on the tropes that the authors provide, right? So, like, you're shopping specifically for, okay, this time I want small town second chance romance, right? So, you're just going through looking for all of those and downloading all of them, right? As part of the promotion.
yeah.
But I can guarantee you that had there been a visual component to the landing page, there would have been people who literally just downloaded everything they thought looked good,
Yeah.
regardless of what the back cover copy had to say.
Right, it goes both ways,
Yes,
because it's two
exactly.
different it's a different kind of reader.
Right. And
And
your back cover copy needs to be tight, but your cover also needs to look good.
this is also why it is healthy and completely legit to switch up your cover from time to time
Absolutely.
because
Absolutely.
you're going to draw in a new audience that maybe didn't realize that they would like your book and
Hmm.
based upon the prior cover. I
Yep.
mean, it's human nature. It's human nature to,
Well,
be drawn to certain things. And some people
absolutely.
like
And
trends, right?
yes,
So,
I was just gonna touch on that a little bit.
yeah.
Like if you wrote a book 5 years ago and it's still got the cover that you chose 5 years ago, chances are trends have changed enough that
Yeah.
it may be time for you to completely overhaul the cover and go with a new aesthetic for that book or the entire series if it's part of one.
Yeah. It's just like clothing. You have the little black dress, which is very classic. So
Yes.
I would say in Romancelandia, that would be man chest with very,
Hmm.
clean typeface on it. That's going to
Right.
be classic and probably will
Yes.
last you for years and will get, generally good results. However, if you
Yes.
want to take a risk and go for something that's going to make you stand out,
Hmm.
in the sea that is Romancelandia,
Yeah.
right? Because it's very oversaturated, or very saturated, I should say. I don't know, oversaturated is the right word, but there's a lot of books out there. So you're
Yes.
trying to stand out from the crowd and rise above the noise. And by taking a risk and making your cover look a little bit different, you can accomplish that. But then at the same time, in 5 years, it's probably, I mean, probably even less than that.
Or
You're
maybe even
maybe,
5 months.
yeah, even 5 months, you're going to have to change your cover.
Yeah,
So you have to
potentially.
think about that with budget constraints as well. What can
Mhm.
you afford to do? And in the same vein, there are some authors who've gotten very good at making their own covers. There are
Yes.
some authors who make their own covers who probably shouldn't. And I'm just being honest.
That's
Um,
true.
just being honest.
That's
But
true.
if you have the ability to make your own cover, you have become adept at that. You
Yep.
also now have a leg up in the industry because you can not only flip your covers out quickly, right? Like do a
Yep.
different cover on a whim. You can
Right.
now also test your covers before you even put it up there to begin with.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And there are certain styles of cover that lend themselves to this process way more easily than others. Like the amount of skill and time that it takes to produce an urban fantasy book cover or a
Sure.
paranormal romance cover or a sci-fi romance cover, you're layering various images, and it takes a lot of Photoshop skill or other design program skill to really nail those.
Yeah.
But if you're writing like dark contemporary or romantic suspense and you use object covers, because I mean those are classic,
Very classic.
it takes 10 minutes to put an object cover together if you find the right stock photo.
Yeah.
I mean, it could take longer, but like
It could take,
realistically,
yeah.
some
With
some of
someone
your
with
favorite
skill.
object covers probably only took
Yeah.
10 minutes to create.
And someone that has a little bit of skill and knows the program, they could probably do it in 10
Exactly.
minutes. Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean,
Exactly.
yeah. So, and I'm reading a book right now that has an object cover on it. I think that was released in, I don't know, 2013 maybe. It's an
Okay.
oldie but a goodie. It's a good 10 years old, but it has an object cover on it.
Yeah.
And object covers are still in style today.
Completely. Completely.
So that is a timeless classic that the
Mhm.
the cover honestly does not look dated.
Yeah.
So you have to really think about what do you want to do? Are you with the trend of the vectors, right?
Mhm.
They are adorable and very cute. They are also a trend. And so when that trend ends, you are going to have to change your cover, or
Yeah.
you're going to be stuck with a book that no longer people aren't going to respond to because they're not going to necessarily remember the trend.
Well, or they're gonna go, "Oh, that book is old.
Yes, that
Look
is
at
the
the
other.
vector
Yep.
cover on it. We completely left those behind 3 years ago, 5 years ago, whatever."
Right. Right. So you have to think about what are the trends. Are you willing to put the money up to continue to change them? Or do you want to go something a little bit more classic that's going to last you longer?
Right.
And you just have to market in different ways since you know that cover
Mhm.
changing is not going to be one of the tools that you're using to market your
Right.
book
Right.
to find a
And I
new
think
audience.
you have to be aware of your brand, and know your readers well enough to know which course is probably the best one for
Yeah.
you. You know, if you rely on a lot of social media marketing and like virality to get your books out there, you have a big social
Right.
media following or you've hit the TikTok lottery a couple of times, you may be able to take the risk of chasing trends as long as you have the budget to change covers quickly at some point in the future when the trends are no longer trendy.
Yeah.
If you're more of a classic or your readers are potentially a little bit more mature and you rely more on like newsletter marketing, trends may not necessarily be the best
They might not
choice.
be the place to go. Right.
Right.
And yeah, if your authors skew older, you may
Mhm.
not have the need to chase the trends in the same way that if you're trying to
Yeah.
grab those younger
Yeah.
audience.
Yep. Absolutely. It's a great point.
because the younger audience tends to enjoy the trends more, which is
Mhm.
valid. It's fine. Just like slang words change over time with the young kids. I have a
So
17-year
true.
old, so
Yes.
I know all the current slang. But so do the trends for the younger audience for romance books as well.
Right. Right.
So you just have to think about all of that when you're looking at your cover. And okay, so the question is, when you're trying to figure out if you're an author and you don't really know where to start,
Yeah.
where should you start, Veronica?
Oh Lord. So I mean, you need to know what works for the genre that your book is in. I mean, like that. There are just some basic standards there across all genres for what really sells a book, the covers that work. If you are completely overwhelmed and you have no idea, go look at your competition. Go look at
Yeah.
your contemporaries. Go look at the other books in your genre or subgenres and see exactly what the formula is,
What
you
is the
know?
common thread that strings
Yes,
through all of them?
exactly. Exactly. You write sci fi romance, 9 times out of 10, you are going to have a bare chested stock photography male model who has been treated in a graphic design program to have some sort of really colorful or tattooed skin to make him look,
Scales.
yes, to make him look like some sort of humanoid alien hybrid kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
If you write contemporary, you could go with like a really sweet couple if your story has a sweeter vibe, or you can go all the way down to like basically dude in a towel. You can see everything but the stuff you're not allowed to see.
Right.
It
I
really just
mean,
depends on what you're writing. You need to know what is the most common denominator in your genre or genres.
if you're writing hockey romance, you should
Mm.
probably incorporate some type of hockey something on the cover. Or
Such a fun little niche too, because like there's a variety of ways to play on the idea that it's hockey specifically, sports across the board, right?
yeah,
Like you can do the dude in his uniform, whatever sport he plays. You can do the arena or field or rink where
in
they
the
play.
background,
Like
yep.
there's so many options. You can do the city that the team is based in if you're doing a whole series, right? Like,
Yeah, and if you're really conscious of trying to make sure that your book is going to look like the other books in your genre,
uh-huh.
look at the colors that people are using. Is there one
Yes.
color that is standing out more than others?
Yes.
There might be a reason for that. Because I have clients who write dark romance, for example,
Hmm.
and we decided to do this series and switch up the covers throughout the series. So like one cover would be this color, next cover would be this color. All would be
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
black and whatever, right? And yeah, it didn't work. The black and gold books sold. The black and red books did not sell. The
What
black and
a
green books
shocker.
did not sell. The black, so I was like, the client was struggling, and I was like, change the covers to black and gold, all of them immediately.
Yep.
And she did. And shockingly, they started to sell. It's just like one of those things that dark romance, black and gold just signifies that this is dark romance.
Yep.
Do you have to do that? No. Can you be an outlier? Of course. With all of this, you can always be an outlier.
Yes.
But if you are
Yes.
looking for something that is tried and true and that you know
Mhm.
is going to work, that's an example of something that's
Yeah.
going to work.
You know, romantic suspense, dark erotic romance, MC and mafia romance, like sort of the outlaw, if you will, people who are outside the norm of society, like those kinds of books
Yeah.
in any way, shape, or form. I can think of 3 authors we've worked with over the years who have employed that sort of rainbow strategy.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them went back and went with a black and gold theme, and it changed everything.
Change
Changed
everything.
everything.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think that something so simple because everything else remained the same,
Hmm.
just a color choice. And that can change the entire trajectory of the series.
But it's such a standard in that niche
Yeah.
of romance that readers expect it, and it communicates exactly what you want it to.
Right. And that's the type of thing that I'm talking about. When
Yeah.
you're looking at the covers from the other genres, you want to look
Mhm.
at what's the thread that ties them all together.
Right.
that when somebody looks at that cover, they say, "Oh, that's that what that is."
Yep.
So that you don't want to leave the reader guessing too much. You
Mhm.
just really don't, because if they have to think too hard, they're not going to buy your book.
Yep.
So communicate effectively as to what it is,
Mhm.
and then
Yeah, if you write women's fiction or romantic women's fiction, for example, you might want to lean toward more beachy covers and make your
yeah,
books look more like, Coastal Cottage, that small town. Rachel Hannah is the first author that comes to mind. That Rachel Hannah vibe, right? Like,
yeah,
because it's a standard. Those
yeah.
those books sell because they look the way readers who love them expect them to look.
Yeah, there's a genre, basically clean romance,
Hmm.
closed door. And it's all of the covers in that genre are basically like either the exact same background and change out of like one thing on the front, like of what's
Yeah.
in the foreground,
Yes.
or
Yes.
the exact same photo just in slightly different color
Uh
variations,
huh.
where like one thing's changed on the cover. You have to go and look and see, but like when you go into that genre, you immediately see, oh, this is what that is.
Yeah.
And if
Yeah.
you do something outside of that and try to sell in that genre,
Right.
there's going to be market confusion. There's going to be reader
Hmm.
confusion. They're not going to realize that you are like these other books.
Right. Right. You write a thriller.
Yeah.
The expectation is going to be that you have some sort of really dark, intense image with block text,
Yeah,
some
block
kind
text,
of block
big block
text,
text.
big block text. It may even be like really stretched out and elongated, but it is this like can't miss it block
Yeah.
text. Yeah, we could just do this like through all
I
of
know
them,
we could do
right?
this for all it. They all have like different markers
Mhm.
as
Paranormal
to,
everything is usually a mishmash of images,
yeah.
right? Like you have to layer a background scene with some sort of like filter or smoke or sparkle that evokes the thought of magic or, paranormal supernatural activity. And then you've got to have at least one character, right? Like if it's
Mhm.
paranormal cozy, you've got your heroine doing whatever she does because she's probably a baker or a librarian or something, or she owns a bookshop or a coffee shop, right?
Yeah, gotta have the coffee shop or something in there if that's what
Or
it
if it's
is.
paranormal romance, you've got a really hunky dude with no shirt on, and then
Yep.
like whatever animal he shifts into in the background, like watching over him, right? So
Mhm.
yeah, it can be formulaic, but
It
it's that
can,
way for a reason because it works.
because it works. And you don't
Yes.
have to do these things, but oftentimes when you stray outside of them and you're newer
Mhm.
in the genre,
Yes.
that's when you don't find the success that you're hoping to find,
Yes.
because you don't have yet the brand power to be able to start
Mhm.
shifting the genre into a different direction.
Right. Right.
So anyway, so covers are important. I mean, I feel like that if one thing we've learned today, it's that covers are important, and
Very.
probably more important than some people wish they were. But
I would
here's
agree with that. Yeah, for sure. I mean, you spend your hard time, your hard work and effort, all that time into writing a book, right? Like, shouldn't the 70,000, 100,000, 40,000 words
yeah,
you wrote be important? Yes, of course they are. But to get people to buy it, you've
yeah.
got to put something on the cover that makes them want to.
I will say though that cover reveals are not as important as they used to be. It used to be
Totally overrated as a
totally
promotional tool at this
overrated.
point.
It used to be that the cover reveal was like this big thing. Everybody, let's keep the cover secret. Like it was literally like
Yes.
clandestine efforts to get the cover out there.
Mhm.
You would send it out to bloggers at the very last minute before, because you didn't want
Strict
anybody to
instructions not to share
do
until the
not
actual
share.
promo event day.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you'd only share it like you do it like the night before, so that there
Right.
was like a really short
Right.
period of time in
Yes.
between that. It's not like that anymore. No one gives a fuck. Put the
Put your
cover
book up
up.
for
Yeah,
pre-order
put your
as
book.
far out as you can.
Yes.
Slap the cover up on your listing now and start marketing immediately. Like,
Immediately. The market has changed, my friends. Get your goddamn cover up there on Amazon the second that you possibly
yes.
can.
And pull like 5,000 words worth of like excerpts too, because you're going to
Yeah.
be teasing with the, like just, yes, yes, yes.
Yes. So it is, don't worry about a cover reveal. We do
Right.
cover shares now. That's what I do.
Yes.
And it's just really the launch of the marketing campaign.
I still call them cover reveals for the clients who want them branded that way
Yeah,
because
sure.
there's no harm in them being a cover reveal, but really they are a cover share because 9 times out of 10, the cover is actually already available for you to see
Yeah.
on at least one retailer or in the author store.
Yeah. And I mean, if you have a group or something like that, you have a group of loyal readers, you could
Hmm.
always drop your cover in there the night before that you put it
Sure.
up on pre-order,
Send it out
etc.
in your newsletter to your
And send,
subscribers
yeah,
early.
you can totally do that as a reveal. But frankly,
Absolutely.
if you are sharing the cover for the first time, you should have the pre-order link with it. You are
Yes,
missing out on an opportunity to get people to
absolutely.
click and to purchase if you are just sending out the cover for funsies. You need the pre-order link attached to it, period.
Absolutely. Could
You-
not agree more.
yeah. So think about that when you're trying to plan out these cover
Mhm.
reveals and, the best use of the first impression of that cover.
Yes.
You want to have
Yes.
everything lined up.
Absolutely.
Some authors will put up books for pre-order without covers a year in advance, and then use the cover
A
reveal.
placeholder.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then use the cover reveal. They already have a link. It's great. So,
Yeah, that works beautifully. I
Mhm.
like that approach as well. So, I have a question.
Okay.
Taking a step back and pretending that I'm brand new to writing and that I'm just about to hit publish or I'm getting ready to hit publish on my debut novel. Where do I find a cover? Like, I
Oh,
can't,
yes.
like maybe I can't make one for myself. How do I source a cover? You
Well,
know?
yeah, there's several ways that you can do this. You can
Yes, there
either
are.
go to pre-made covers, like there's different designers that have whole libraries essentially of pre-made covers that
Yes.
are already in existence and are usually a very cost-conscious way of getting a beautifully designed cover.
Yes. In the year of our Lord 2023, I know there are designers out there selling pre-mades for $50 a pop
Yeah,
still. Like, it's beautiful.
and you can find that and they look great.
They usually do.
Yeah,
Now, they may not necessarily be exclusive. The
that's
designer
true.
may reserve the right to reuse portions of your pre-made design on other covers in the future. And the imagery is going to be stock.
Yes,
So other people will have the same base image on their cover potentially. But it will be a thoughtfully designed, genre specific,
cover.
dynamic cover for a very small investment.
Yes. You can also go to now if you want to go up like next level, you can get a cover design specifically for you. You can
Yes.
find cover designers all over the internet. I mean, there's websites that
Mhm.
be wary of some of these websites, especially in the year of our Lord 2023, as you say, with the age of AI. Be wary
On
of
Beyonce's internet, please
our
be
yes,
careful.
please be careful. So think about that when you're doing some Google searches. Get some references. I cannot say this enough. Get references.
If you want recommendations, email us.
Yes, we will give you
We keep a
recommendations.
list of trusted designers whose work is high quality and who our clients rave about consistently that we can give you the website links to or a contact email for. I mean, really,
Yeah, please
ask around for
ask around.
recommendations.
Yes, get some recommendations. There are tons of great designers. You can go on Fiverr and find a designer, but
Yes, you can.
and I've had clients who have had great results with that.
Yes,
I've also
absolutely.
had clients who've had misses with that. So,
Or
you,
who've lost money.
yeah. So you have to be careful, but you can find great people
Yes, they do exist.
to do this work. And
Mhm.
then for the imagery that you're using, you can either use stock imagery that you're purchasing from licensing, I should say,
Mhm.
from a stock photo site, or you are getting a exclusive photo, which means that that photo is being sold only to you and you alone, and you are the one that's using it on your cover, and that's from photographers in this industry like Golden Zermatt, Wander Aguilar,
Mhm.
CJC Photography, Michelle Lancaster,
Oh, Michelle, yes, of
Corey
course.
Sterling. I don't know. Let's name some more.
Listen to you. You are a fount
I'm a
of custom photography knowledge.
so Dante Bellamore, I think is his last name. I mean, I could continue on. I'm just thinking. There's a
Gene
ton.
Woodfin.
I'm sorry.
Gene Woodfin, right?
Yes. There's a ton. There's a ton of
Regina Wamba. Like,
yeah,
just
oh
so
Regina
many.
Wamba. Yes, there's a ton of amazing photographers. And
Mhm.
that list was not this that list was off the top of my head on this Friday morning in which I've had a very small amount of coffee. So
If we didn't mention you, it's not
it is
personal. We
not
just
personal.
are undercaffeinated on a Friday
That's
morning.
right. But there's amazing photographers in this industry who
Totally,
will sell
totally.
you exclusive images that you can then use on the cover of your books. And then there's also these photographers will often do custom images for you.
Yes, they can.
And you
Absolutely.
can actually purchase an entire photo shoot
Mhm.
specific
You
for
can
your book.
you can even retain the specific model or models you want
Yes.
in the photo shoot. You just have to be willing to pay whatever their fees are
Yeah,
associated
these are
with.
levels, my friends. These are
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
levels
yeah.
that we're talking about of where you're going with these with the
Yeah. But
covers.
we're talking about several $1,000s worth of investment at this point. Like,
Yes.
we're top tier basically.
Yeah.
But like, if you're just getting started, I think maybe a good tip would be to get on Instagram
Yeah.
and just like search hashtag cover reveal or hashtag cover share or hashtag cover design and see whose accounts are getting tagged in posts
Yeah.
with those hashtags and check out their work. See
Decide if
what
you
you
like
like.
it. Yeah.
See what works for your kind of book.
And look at your genre and see who,
Hmm.
if you look on the inside of the books, you will see who designed the cover because the
Yes.
authors are supposed to tell us that on the inside of the book.
Yes. They have to give attribution for all that stuff they bought or licensed.
So, like, for example, I have this book by Tori Heat still sitting here. I think I talked about this
Oh,
couple.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Tori's book.
Tori's book. This is, you look at this and you think it's dark somehow, right? Like, that this is dark. There's a skull in there. Like, it is fiery, it is dark,
Undoubtedly
right?
dark.
So, if this is your jam, cover design was by Books and Moods. So, you can go to Books and Moods and know that you can get this type of art done
Yep.
for your book. So, apologies. That was my cell phone that I forgot to mute. And it was spam
Oh
call.
my
Of course
God.
it was.
It's 1998 again, you guys. That was the West Wing theme.
It was the West Wing theme. Don't judge me. I love
I'm not judging you. I was getting lost in a fantasy of a world where our
it's
politicians weren't
nostalgia.
corrupt and they always did the right thing. So
Nostalgia, yes.
I know.
I know. That's why it is the way it is because I like to
Let
feel that way.
Bartlett be Bartlett.
That is so good. This one is you look at this one and you see billionaire romance. I mean,
Totally.
100% billionaire,
Maybe
maybe
darkish, maybe like
darkish.
BDSM lifestyle billionaire. I don't
Yeah.
know. It's got like it's got a bit of a kinky look to me, I think, or erotic look.
This cover art is by Midnight Designs. And
Just
the vector
great name
image
for
was from Deposit Photos. So, yeah.
sweet.
And
Super simple.
the back is beautiful.
Hot.
Yeah, it's really hot. This is on my list. So, but that's my point. You can look at these covers, see what they are, look on the
Mhm.
inside, see who designed them,
Yep,
and go talk to them.
that's right.
That's
Very
it.
easy.
That's it.
Great way to source your first cover if you haven't done it yet.
Exactly. But,
You
well,
got a marketing tip for us this week, Heather?
I do. And my marketing tip is to pivot. Do not be afraid to be flexigumby as a business owner. In fact, you should
That
be.
fits perfectly with today's topic.
Yeah.
That's just a beautiful segue.
You have to be flexigumby. You have to be able to pivot. That is a term that I've stolen from my husband. I think it's a military term. Yeah, and it also ages me slightly.
Definitely sounds like your husband's.
Doesn't it? Yes. But he's right. I mean, you have to be able to be flexible, to be able to pivot, to
Yeah.
not take things so personally, because there's been so many times, specifically with covers, as we're talking about, that I have, as a marketing expert, said, this is a great cover. And the author is like, I'm in love with this cover. And then you put it out into market. And for whatever reason, the market's like, this is shit. And so you have to get over yourself and
Yep.
say, okay, this isn't working right now. Let's change it. We have to be able to
Flip
change it.
flip the script on that. There are
Yeah.
also going to be times where you just absolutely love the cover, and someone with a professional opinion about cover design, whether it's a support person in your network or someone in the genre who's been writing longer than you, is going to tell you that cover is not going to work. It's just not as good as you think it is. You need to change it.
Yeah.
And you may be resistant to doing it for a little while because you're invested in it, both emotionally and financially.
Yeah.
But most of the time,
They're right.
you can't see the forest for the trees, and that advice is usually pretty sound.
Yeah. There have been times that I thought that a cover was the ugliest, ugly, ugly, awful cover I have ever seen.
Yeah.
And then it sells like hotcakes. And so it often has very little to do with personal likes, you know?
Absolutely.
That's my whole point
Absolutely.
here. You have to remove the emotional, personal, aesthetically pleasing
Hmm.
like to this.
Yeah.
Because oftentimes that is not the case. That's not what's you have to look at the themes, the threads, what is selling the book, what does the market want right
Yep.
now?
Yep.
And that's what's in, that's what's going to sell your book. So look at it objectively speaking. Like,
Hmm.
objectively, is this cover anything like new or really different? No.
No,
But is it also a beautiful cover?
it's
Yes.
gorgeous.
Do we know what it is just by looking at it?
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
And I mean, they did a little bit new with the foil, right? There's a little foil
Oh,
action on there.
love a
Love
foil
that.
cover.
Love a foil cover.
Yes,
And
yes,
it, that's my point. You don't have to reinvent the wheel to make something look special for you.
right.
So be flexible.
Be willing to pivot.
Be willing to pivot.
Excellent advice. That's
Thank you.
beautiful.
Thank you. Thank
I think
you.
that could apply to so many things too.
It could. Just like, Taylor Swift pivots with her own marketing plan. I had to bring her up.
I,
I had
why?
to.
We made it
I
32
know.
damn minutes, Heather. We
Because
made it 32 minutes without mentioning the queen. And
mother.
I worked Beyonce in for a reason, right? Like
I
that was my
know.
way of blowing off a little bit of the pressure. But
I know. But like really,
I'm loving this Travis Kelsey thing. I cannot get
let's
over
talk.
it.
I
I am
mean, we
obsessed.
can talk.
It's
I think
because I sell romance books all day
yes.
long. I'm obsessed
It's also
with the optics of
it's an
this.
amazing PR move. Do I think that they're really in a
Oh,
romantic relationship? I go back and forth, but it's a
I think they're
beautiful.
having fun
I
together, like
think they're
genuinely having fun together.
yeah. I think
But
if
is
nothing
this
else, they're
more of a
friends.
marketing PR move than anything else?
Yes,
I'm ready and willing to make that argument.
yes, 100% yes. Because PR is not just like PR management. It's not just like when you have an album out.
Yeah.
It's what do you do in between these albums in order to reach new audiences. You're
Well,
telling
this isn't
me
just
that she didn't reach a new audience with this hookup
100%.
with Travis?
But
Come on.
also, it's this unholy alliance of Swifties with the NFL too. Like
Yes.
she is giving what she has built to this place where a lot of her followers don't really interact or, spend money. And the Kelsey brothers just released a documentary this month. Like,
Mhm.
you cannot tell me
This was
that the
100%
timing of this is
planned.
not fortunate.
I mean, they literally the convertible shot. Come on, guys. They did not drive off from the stadium in a convertible. That was 100% a PR video or a photo shoot. I mean, come the fuck on.
Don't
It
crush my
was
getaway car dreams,
it did
please.
not happen. Like literally there was nobody in front of them. There was nobody who had like it was a closed street and she does not go in a convertible anywhere. Come on. The pe- but people are eating it up. People are loving it. Oh, they went out on a date in a little convertible.
Mhm.
I mean, it's
The leaked
just
photo from the bar after the
oh
game.
yeah. Yeah. It's it's so approved. It's so well done. Like she is just a mastermind. I know this is her. This is not Travis Kelsey. I'm sorry. He's a willing participant. No doubt whatsoever and is
He's
reaping
smart.
benefits. He's not stupid. But she is the mastermind behind this. She knows exactly
100%.
what she's doing. And I don't have a problem. I like the mom. I like Travis's mom, him and his brother, like their mom. She seems
Oh, they are
really,
just like precious all
yeah,
American Midwestern boys. Like just
seems really down to earth, a really
yeah.
nice, like,
Yeah. No, I had a
connection.
conversation with my husband last night about how Jason apparently until this last weekend had the highest selling women's jersey in the NFL. My husband was like, "How is that possible? He's like this average like defensive lineman center guy who's just not really conventionally attractive." And I was like, "Well, then you don't understand the female gaze, my friend,
Yeah,
because Jason Kelsey is a smash all day long.
all
I
day.
don't care. Like just something so relatable and down to earth and like
Yeah.
attractive about that."
And he seems like a
Yeah,
genuinely
like they
decent
are
guy.
totally just like Wonder Bread, right? Like
Yeah,
Americana,
right.
male-centered, white privilege, Midwestern, like
Mhm.
normal American family values kind of thing. Like,
And the mom seems very
yeah.
down to earth. She's willing to poke fun at herself. She's willing to,
Mhm.
be we know that she's willing to jump into PR things because she did that all around the Super Bowl.
Oh my
And
gosh,
so
yeah.
she's absolutely a willing participant in this, but is also seemingly a very down to earth human who Taylor could actually genuinely probably get along with. It just seems
I'm
like a
sure.
natural mesh. And yeah, so this whole thing completely scripted in a way, but also I love it. I mean,
Oh, I am
well
here for
done.
it. I am
Well
here for it.
done, Taylor.
I am living a Hallmark movie in real life with every piece of content that
That's
drops related to
exactly what
this.
they're doing. And well done on them.
Yep.
Well done. So, and I mean,
That
that
was
was your
your free
Swifty.
5 minute
Yeah.
Taylor Swift tip for the week.
Yeah. Because apparently that's what we do now. So, all
I'm
right.
sorry.
We're letting the beat take us out. I'm turning us off. I'm turning us off. Okay.